everybody, and welcome back to the F2 show by Inside F2 with myself, Fraser Ford. Joining me to review round number 12 of the Formula 2 season are Inside F2's Aaron Harper and Emily Sands. So much for us to discuss today, guys. Shock winner, none of the top four in the championship scoring points, plenty of incidents as well. But Aaron, even by F2 standards, that was chaotic, right? And we only had one race. We didn't really get a sprint race, did we?
Yeah, the feature race kind of made up for the lack of sprint race, although the sprint racing action we did have was pretty chaotic and wild in itself. So, as usual, F2 delivers come what may.
It really does, didn't it? Emily, have you managed to catch your breath after that one?
Yeah, it was a bit full on, wasn't it? I mean, from not really much happening on the Saturday to then Sunday being just very full on, and I felt like the race was on forever because of everything that happened. But yeah, I think I'm ready for the next round to be a little bit more calm.
Absolutely. Let's crack straight on with it then. Let's start with our feature race winner, Clement Novac. Emily, if you predicted a top three of Novac, Maloney and Crawford at the start of the weekend, I would love to know what next week's lottery numbers are going to be, please.
Yeah, no, I don't think anybody probably saw that coming. Clem is one of those people that just hasn't really done very well this year. He's only scored 2 points until this weekend. It was there for him. You know, it was his first career win since 2019, his first ever feature race win in Formula 2. So it must have just been amazing for him to have got that chance. And, you know, from 13th to 1st as well. And I mean, he didn't make any mistakes. He managed to keep the car on the track, even when it was in the damp conditions with the cold tyres. They obviously pitted him at the right time for him to jump up like 10 positions and stay there. Halfway through towards the end, I feel like Maloney was trying to, he's being told on the radio, come on, we need to push, but he just didn't have that pace, and obviously he was more worried about Crawford trying to pass him to get P2. So luckily that gave Clem a bit of a space to breathe in and to build that gap up further so that he didn't have anyone trying to take first place. But yeah, I think he did really well. And I mean, you could see what the look on his face. He was just couldn't believe it when he was standing on that podium. So I'm really happy that he managed to get that win.
Absolutely, Aaron. That was the point I was going to make to yourself, that he dealt with the pressure very, very well after the safety car restart. We haven't seen him in that position, obviously, in Formula 2 or Formula 3 for that matter. We haven't seen him in that position in a long time. And he dealt with the pressure incredibly well, didn't he? No mistakes after the safety car restart. And even though I think a lot of people would have put their money on Zane Maloney perhaps winning that race from that position, not immediately after he made that great move around the outside of Jack Crawford after the safety car restart. But Novac kept it on the road and did really well, didn't he?
Yeah, it was very impressive. It was a day where it was very easy to make a mistake and end up in the barriers or just spinning around and losing a load of positions. And the pressure in those conditions, there is no more pressure than being the first guy on the track, because if it starts raining again, you're more than likely to encounter it first and you won't know it's there. So how often have we seen drivers hit a rain patch and then slide off into the barriers, and their hopes and dreams of a victory go with it? So very, very impressive from Clement Novac. He kept a really cool head and he never had a moment. There was no sort of shouting over the radio. They didn't broadcast any of his radio, I don't think, until he crossed the finish line. And it was kind of strange as well after he crossed the line, because normally you see the drivers going around punching the air and they're screaming on the radio. And of course he was shouting and screaming on the radio. But Formula 2 feature races are difficult to win. Massive credit to Clement Novac, a thoroughly well-deserved victory.
Yeah, he's a pretty chilled out guy, isn't he? I'm sure he'll be a glass of wine and feet up to celebrate that victory. Or maybe a night out, who knows. But yeah, as Emily said, Clement Novac's first win since British Formula 3 in 2019, and Trident's first Formula 2 feature race win since May 2014, Barcelona, Johnny Cecotto Jr. Thank you to Michael McClure for that stat. It's been a long time coming for the Trident team. I want to talk a little bit about Zane Maloney and Jack Crawford even. There you go. It was. I think for Jack Crawford, he'll be very happy with that result. Will Zane Maloney be a little bit disappointed, Emily, thinking that perhaps he could have been the one to have won that race, and perhaps should have been the one to have won that race from the position that he was in after that great move after the safety car restart?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I think, we got quite a few radios through of his, race engineer, Matt, saying, come on, now you need to put the pressure on. And that was about 3 times he said that to him. And you could tell that he was trying, but as we saw from the top 4 in the championship, you make one mistake and that's it, you're in the wall. So he must have been probably focusing really hard not to make a silly mistake. But maybe, I don't know, did he have the pace that weekend, or was he not confident enough to push more to get the place in case it ended up with him in the wall? Yeah, I think, and Maloney's shown that he is a very good driver. He has actually got some good results this year, and again, competing with all of the other Red Bulls, he's got to be better than Jack Crawford, who's another Red Bull junior. Wasser was further down, so he's cleared him already. But I am surprised, that he didn't manage to close that gap a little bit more after that overtake when the safety car had gone back in.
Yeah, particularly after winning an F3 around Zandvoort last season. But yeah, I think Zane Maloney is having a quietly pretty good season, in my opinion. And I think he'll be potentially a championship contender next season. Let's wait and see. As we said at the top, there were plenty of incidents across the weekend, really, weren't there? Let's start with our championship leader, Théo Pourchaire. He had some cracking laps to perform the overcut. Obviously came into the pits in the net race, came out of the pits even in the net race lead, and then bang into the wall. Is it unfortunate, Aaron, given the conditions, or was it a driver error? What do you think? It's obviously very difficult conditions out there, wasn't it?
It was very difficult. I was writing the feature race report for the website after the pit stop. I was writing some of my notes down for the article, and I put, these are my notes, exact wording. Pourchaire jumps Crawford, Hauger, Hadjar and Maloney from P5 in the pit sequence to take the lead. Nope, he's crashed. It was that unexpected. And the nope, he's crashed is in capital letters. It was absolutely just one of those things you go, what's happened? Why are we seeing this? And when we saw it, it was, it's part driver error, it's part circumstance, because no tyre blankets in FIA Formula 2. You've got to generate tyre temperature yourself. And that part of the track, going over a crest of a hill, downhill, slightly off camber, wet, you might have just caught a damp patch. The compression, as Alice Powell said on commentary, that can upset the balance of the car. Yeah, he was on a one-way ticket to the barrier then, and it's unfortunate. It's a surprise as well, because Théo's not made too many mistakes this season. I mean, the glaring one was probably Jeddah, where he outbraked himself and took out Ollie Behrman with him. But since then, he's been pretty squeaky clean, and Vesti's had a bit of a mess in the last couple of races, so it was a big opportunity for Pourchaire to claim a second feature race victory, only a second feature race victory. And it somehow got away from him. But that's racing, unfortunately. It can be looking like it's going to swing your way 1 second and then bang, you're in the barrier and it's all got away from you. Which, taking Pourchaire's incident into consideration, this is why Novac's victory is all the more impressive, because it really was just that easy to make a mistake. Put one wheel a millimetre, 2 millimetres off the dryish line, and bang, you're out of the race. So for Pourchaire, he'll be gutted that he's missed out on a feature race win, but he will be much more glad to see Fred Vesti with only 2 wheels on his wagon.
Thank you for watching on YouTube. To watch the full video and other exclusive content, check out the link in the description to access our Spotify content.